Today I'm going to be sharing my top 3 airdrops to be keeping an eye on during the month of February. Now, there are so many airdrops going on, it can be very hard to keep up, especially for those who are restricted on time. So today I narrow it down to the 3 that I think are most important. Now, if you do enjoy the video, please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel, but let's get started with airdrop number 1. So airdrop number 1 is Alt Layer. Now, some of you will be aware that Alt Layer announced quite recently that they was going to be doing an airdrop, and the criteria was shared to who would be eligible. Now, within this list was Celestia stakers, tier stakers, and if you've been watching the channel recently, you would have seen 2 videos specifically here. 1 showing how to stake tier, and 2 looking at potential tier airdrops for tier stakers, and within that list was Alt Layer. So things playing out very nicely there. However, the thing is right now, despite the token being live on Binance and other top tier exchanges, the problem is here that tier stakers still don't know how many tokens they are going to receive, and that's because the eligibility criteria for tier stakers has not yet been shared. So the reason this is in today's video is because I think it's very important for those who have also staked tier to keep on top of it, to keep an eye on the Alt Layer Twitter page and just make sure that you don't miss the airdrop. Now, the airdrop claim portal is going to be open for around 1 month, so you don't need to panic right now, but it's definitely worth keeping a close eye on this during the month of Feb. Before we move on to airdrop number 2, there are 2 things that I just need to make you guys aware of. Now, firstly, some of you will be wondering at the end of this video why Jupiter Exchange on Solana has not been included, and that is simply because there will be a Jupiter video going live on Tuesday, so make sure you subscribe, notifications on, don't miss that one. It's going to be a huge airdrop for the Solana ecosystem. And the other thing that I need you guys to be aware of is that I'm actually thinking about making this format of video a monthly series. So at the start of each month, I'll be sharing 3, if not more, airdrops that I'll be paying a very close attention to during the coming month. So if you like the idea of that, please do let me know in the comments, because your feedback is greatly appreciated and a lot of the video ideas do come from you guys. Now we'll move on to airdrop number 2, and this is around Pyth network. Now Pyth is already live. This isn't the token that will be airdropped, but it is the token that I will be staking for potential airdrops. Now, just to explain a little bit about Pyth before we get into my Twitter thread here, if we look on CoinGecko, we can see in the Oracle section that Chainlink is without doubt the leader. It is the blue chip of the Oracle space with a market cap of around 7.8 billion. Now, the thing is here, nothing really comes close. Next on the list is Pyth at very close to 600 million. So there's a lot of room to grow there. So even if there is no confirmed airdrops, I personally am still bullish on Pyth as a token. I think it can run much higher in this coming cycle. So that's just, a little bit of information there. But without getting sidetracked too much, we'll now look at the thread that I shared around staking Pyth. So over 75,000 people are already staking Pyth. This was confirmed by the team, and it's a pretty impressive stat for a fairly new token. Now, when it comes to airdrops, none of these are actually confirmed at this point, but they are actually using the Pyth technology. So if any of these big projects were actually going to do an airdrop, there is a chance that Pyth stakers could receive these tokens. And some examples here are Helix app, which is one of the biggest dexes in the injective ecosystem. We've got Monad, which is a hugely anticipated L1. And we've got some Drift Protocol and MarginFi, which are 2 of the biggest projects in the Solana ecosystem without tokens at the moment. So just a few examples there. There are many, many more. But when it comes to being eligible, of course, that will be confirmed by the individual teams. But to place a bet, to take a gamble at this moment, I am staking Pyth. And it's very simple to do. I simply just swapped some Sol in my Phantom wallet to Pyth, went onto the Pyth staking website, which is linked here, and I will leave the link to this in the description so you can reference it and follow it step by step. And then from that point, I just selected the amount of Pyth I wanted to stake and clicked done. Very, very straightforward. Now, if you need to send funds from a centralized exchange, KuCoin and Bybit both offer Pyth, so that's just something to keep in mind. But the guide will be there for you to follow anyway. And just to wrap this up, a few things to know. that the epoches is when new stake tokens will actually go live into the staking pool. So even though you may stake on a Sunday, for example, it'll be the following Thursday when that next epoch goes live, when your tokens will move into that staked pool. So don't panic if it doesn't look convincing. It is just basically waiting for Thursday. And then staking or unstaking, or withdrawing can take up to 14 days. This is pretty normal, as we've seen with the likes of Injective, Celestia, etc. And the minimum amount recommended is 1,000 PIFE. Now, this isn't confirmed by the team or anything, but it's a rough guide and what other people are sharing that should be staked. So just a couple of things to know. And last but not least on this list is one of the most highly anticipated projects in the Injective ecosystem. So you have the likes of Mito Finance, you have the Helix exchange, but this is all about Hydro. Now, Hydro has a pretty jam-packed schedule going into the month of Feb. They have the mainnet launch on January 31st, followed by the public sale, which is 4 weeks after the early airdrop farming. And then you have the airdrops for phases 1, 2, and 3, and then SEX listings. So that is a pretty jam-packed schedule. The airdrop is clearly confirmed, and my bet here is that people who are very active within that mainnet and are testing it thoroughly are going to potentially receive some tokens. Now, the eligibility around this doesn't just depend on that. If you've already been using the testnet, then you're ahead of the curve. If you're also staking Injective, that is another way to potentially receive tokens. But when it comes to Hydro and how highly anticipated this is, it's very, very convincing. When we look at the TVL of Injective, it's still a very small ecosystem. We can see that on DeFi Llama, around $37 million of $37 million is locked up in TVL right now. And on this list doesn't actually include Hydro because, of course, it has been in testnet. Now, if we look on the Hydro website, we can see that during the testnet figures, which is very important to state, we have seen a TVL of around $12 million. So it's very clear that a lot of people have been paying attention to this, been getting involved in the testnet. And if you haven't done so far, I wouldn't worry too much because that isn't going to be the only way into this airdrop. So definitely a project that is worth keeping an eye on. It's going to be a very, very active month throughout February for these guys. And if you're not already getting involved and putting this on your watch list, now is the time to do so. So for those who are new to airdrop farming, I'm just going to make a couple of things very, very clear. When it comes to alt layer, the first pick of this video, that is now finished, wrapped up. There is nothing you can do to get involved in that airdrop. Snapshots have been taken for tier stakers. So I just want to make that super clear that there's nothing you can do now to jump into this airdrop. This is more aimed at the people who have been watching recent videos and have already been staking to make sure that they don't miss out on this airdrop. Now, moving on to PIFE, of course, this is more speculative airdrops that could potentially happen for those projects and tokenless projects that are using PIFE technologies within their project. And then lastly, we have Hydro, which is a confirmed airdrop, which of course, like I said, testnet users will be ahead of the rest, but there is still potential there through staking Injective if you are already doing so, and of course being involved in the mainnet. So just a few things to know there, a few projects to keep on that watch list during the coming month. So that is all for today's video. Hopefully it was useful for you guys. If it was, do not forget to let me know in the comments. That is going to be very important for me to know if you enjoy this video. It's great feedback. And if you did, I can do these videos on a month-to-month basis to make sure that you're up to date with the biggest and the most important airdrops in the space. So like I said, please do like, comment, subscribe. Please do trade safe, invest safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.